Attack on Titan Season 2. Before I get into this, I need to always put out the disclaimer when I'm doing a negative review of something popular that this is just my opinion. You're welcome to disagree, and I encourage a healthy debate. But if you insult me personally because I don't like the same media as you, that is sad. But let's go ahead and jump into Attack on Titan Season 2. And I want to start with some of the good, because there's still things about this show that I like. With the note, though, that I probably wouldn't be continuing on to Season 3 if it wasn't for the fact that so many people have told me Season 3 is outstanding and the fan base is aware that Season 2 is a bit of a slump. So because of that, I still have faith, and there were some things at the end of Season 2 that really made me believe, like, oh, we're gonna be, okay, cool. This won't be good for Season 3. But yeah, I still did not like Season 2. Positives. Let's get into the positives. There was still some really outstanding building of the mysteries for Attack on Titan in Season 2. Granted, the storylines around those should have been okay, we're gonna get into that later. But yes, really good building of mysteries and introduction of new elements to those mysteries that really have me going, for the next season. There was still some also really nice character work. Unfortunately, these stories involving these characters just did not compel me, though I did still appreciate these characters that were being built to execute these stories. So that was all very nice. And that's all the positives I really have to say about Season 2 of Attack on Titan. This is a very large step down in overall quality, unfortunately, in my opinion, from Season 1. It just didn't focus on the plot lines I was most interested in continuing on from Season 1, and as a result, I could see someone who was more invested in different aspects of the show than myself still getting pretty good enjoyment from Season 2. The biggest issue, and the one I want to get into the most, is, wow, this should have been condensed. This whole season could have been half the number of episodes, and it would have benefited a massive amount because there was so much filler. Now, I'm aware that's a bit of an animeism, and I'm not going to get into all the other animeisms as well. They were still here. Some of them did bother me, some less so, though it wasn't as prevalent as Season 1. If you want to see me talk at length about these, go watch my review of Season 1. There was the animeism of just drawing things out and that DBZ style of just having characters stare at each other, not talk, elongated conversation where they say the same things again and again, to the point where there's actually in my notes for Season 2, when are these gonna get out of this tree? Because they're in this tree for a long time, and it was bothersome. There just wasn't enough content to justify a season of television. There were swaths of this season where there was storylines taking place that could have been condensed down to an episode. Specifically, there's one little area of this season, I say area because it's multiple episodes, where characters are just standing on a tree while people mess around in a forest, and eventually results in this big climax, but it's several episodes, and it could have easily been maybe less than one. And I found it just infuriating, boring to be stuck there and just being drawn out where we have these scenes where characters are staring at each other, doing nothing. It seems like just waiting for more. There's just no momentum here, and that's driving me crazy. I need a story to guide me along, and instead, it felt like I was being held back by the writer's choice to just fill. It was like, okay, I get this scene. Why are we spending an extra 15-30 seconds just watching people stare at each other or nothing happen? And then the entire sequence of that plot line would be just drawn out until it felt almost paper thin. I was recently talking to a friend of mine who was surprised I liked Attack on Titan Season 1 more than Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood Season 1, and one of his criticisms was he just said that he didn't feel like a lot happened in Attack on Titan. And I processed that and I went, I feel like a good amount happened in Attack on Titan Season 1, but Season 2 feels way more like it falls into the category he was mentioning. Maybe he was thinking about Season 2, and after watching it, I'm going to ask him that. Now, on top of this, there also was just a little bit more clumsy storytelling overall. A great example of this would be there's a MacGuffin introduced towards the end of Season 2 that just very much so stood out. And there was the introduction of a MacGuffin in Season 1 at a point as well, but it was layered within the narrative in a sense where it didn't necessarily stand out, and it just actually brought up a mystery that was very intriguing. Here, it's just an evolution on that mystery that kind of actually detracts from the original stakes, in my opinion. We'll get into more of that in spoilers. The plot of Season 2 feels like a B story for another season that should have been in the background. It should have been cut way down, take up just a few episodes, and just be layered in with another better quality season, and that way it wouldn't have hurt so much, and that I actually didn't care about a lot of the stuff going on with these characters. Granted, they're interesting characters, it just didn't feel relevant though for everything else going on. It felt like just this side tangent. There's some decent exploration of the sides that are being set up here for Attack on Titan overall in this storyline that takes up so heavily everything that's going on here. For season 2 though, it just seems like they've decided to focus on everything I really didn't like in season 1 and make it like the primary focus for season 2, and everything I did enjoy has just been kind of sidelined. Granted, the way season 2 ended, it seems like season 3 is going to focus a lot more on those elements. So I'm again pretty interested. I'm hooked. I'm ready for it. Yeah, this was just rough. This was rough to get through, and it felt like the annoying Walking Dead episode formula, but stretched out over a whole season. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, one of the common criticisms of Walking Dead, especially in the later seasons, is that their episodes are built to have engagement at the beginning, a lot of stretched out of nothing, and then like zombie attack or something engaging at the very end, and you could condense it down into a much shorter amount of time, especially because the character drama seems so forced at times. That is this season of Attack on Titan. You could push it down to maybe 6 or 7 episodes, I'd say, and you wouldn't be stressed to do so. So overall though, for season 2 of Attack on Titan, I'm feeling like a 4 out of 10, which is a big step down from my ranking of season 1. I just was not invested. I was being dragged along by this pacing, and it should have been condensed. But I know most of you have already seen season 2 who are watching this, so I'm going to go ahead and jump on into spoilers here. So if you have not watched season 2 or even season 1, get on out of here, because we're going to be talking about the deets. So I actually want to talk about positives once again, because everything around the Beast Titan was intriguing. That's the mystery elements I'm talking about, where I'm like, yes, bring this up more. But once again, that's just kind of pulled to the side at a certain point. And then we have this Krista-based plot in the forest that I just was not caring about. I could not care less. I was hoping they would just all get eaten, and that way season 3 is just Levi, the Bamf he is, dealing with the Beast and all of these other things. Now within this plot that I did not care about, we still learned other things that are of value for the grander story. There's divisions within the Titans, who's falling where, there's more, people within our crew that are Titans as well. That was a good mixture. Those were the nuggets where I would be like, all right, I'm still going to continue watching season 2. I really would have stopped if people hadn't been hyping season 3 so much and these mystery elements weren't being explored. I swear, you could literally do like a recap of everything of note that happens in season 2 in a less than 10-minute long YouTube video. I'd be amazed if one of those does not already exist. That being said, let's just talk about the general things I didn't care about here with spoilers. Everything with Krista and this kidnapping of Eren, total filler to me. There were no stakes. At no point did I believe Eren was actually going to be taken away to some... It's just, no. We know it's not going to happen. And then he's given this ability where he's controlling other Titans. And... that was just, why? Like, you set it up so well that he has this ability. We need to figure out why. It's a mystery. Everything you add on top, though, pulls the focus away from that mystery and more onto the fact that this is just a MacGuffin-y element, it feels like at times. Driving me crazy. Also, the lack of Levi. Why? Give me Levi. I specifically said in my predictions for this season, in my season 1 review, that I needed focus on Levi and Eren needs to back away. I want to see more of the on-the-ground soldiers being developed and, really get into their stories. And I felt like that'd been way more compelling, and boy did season 2 do the opposite. Instead, it decided to treat a lot of these on-the-ground soldiers like cannon fodder. We're just constantly being murdered right and left, which that's good. Like, show me there are stakes. You can kill soldiers all you want, that's fine, but give me people within their ranks to actually invest in. And instead, the character work is devoted to people who obviously I don't like because they're kind of awful, or it's characters you've already built up, and then the characters I care about are either reduced to like the back burner or just not here, like Levi. Give him back! The Beast at the end of this season is entirely why I'm like, okay, Season 3 is going where I want it to go. This is going to focus on actually developing soldiers, Levi as well. He's got to be in Season 3 now, and the mystery around the Titans. I don't want Eren to be this big, powerful, central focus because while I think what's happening to him is interesting, I don't find him that interesting as a character. He's fairly one note, and that isn't a great thing to helm your story progression. Guess what Eren's doing most of the time? He's screaming and trying to kill things. So yes, I'm feeling a light 4 out of 10 for Season 2. Really, just everything I enjoyed about Season 2 was remnants from Season 1 or setup for Season 3. This should be reduced. I'm tempted to make a fan edit that's actually just like, I don't know, 3 episodes long where you can get the major details of this season and move on into Season 3 because, didn't like. Dislike, unsubscribe, not peace, war. But let me know what you thought of Season 2 in the comments down below. If you're a mega Attack on Titan fan who feels attacked, please be sure to let me know your personal thoughts. I care deeply about them. And have a good one, y'all. Peace.